They kind of have the team fight edge regardless of what team fight presence with the Eclipse, but if VP want to get like a mid OG type hero or something, they can easily just have that team fight edge. Although they do need to be thinking about matchups that work against the sniper, which is maybe more.
To have a lineup that can allow him to stand his ground and to take those fights head on. Do you think they have it yet? And if not, gods, what is that missing piece for Navi?
It's got to be something to help handle the Ember better, because yeah, just the one lockdown in the Sand King Forest Strike, and that's where VP take advantage of that. That's where the Ember Spirit pick comes in a perfect time. You've picked it when you need a gap closer against Sniper, a hero to get on top of him, and your opponents don't have good lockdown or control, no silence whatsoever. I mean, maybe that's where you go get something like a silencer against Ember Spirit at this point as your other support. To me, Navi's other hero has to either be lockdown and control for Ember Spirit, otherwise they'd never be able to deal with him in the late game, or it needs to be a hero that can complement their 5-man to push in the mid game and just win the game regardless of not. If you want to beat an Ember Spirit without lockdown, you've got to like have a good mid game and just snowball, push down towers, win the game with your like Luna, Manta plus Helm of the Dominator push. So that's kind of more what I would expect out of Navi if they don't think they can counter the Ember.
Final pick for VP.
That's kind of more what I would.
Very good at taking buildings or objectives, gods. That's the one big gap I'm really seeing in this lineup right now.
Probably something to partner with the Slaughter a bit, but not sure exactly what it's going to be. I don't think like a single target like PA type hero is that great. The Troll seems like maybe a better option, something a bit kind of more durable in the front lines. But we've seen quite a variety of heroes come out from Ramsey. He's even played some unconventional ones at various times, and could even see something like a safe lane Ember. I mean, the Ember Spirit's great this game just because of the lack of lockdown and how well it can deal with the sniper. So if they want to give it the better lane, safe lane Ember may work just fine, and they can run like a mid lane that has a better matchup against the sniper.
VP, fifth and final pick, taking their time. As for Navi, they have some initiation with the Sand King. They're still feeling a little frail to me, though, gods. Is there something they could grab that would buff up their clashing ability, their overall team fight? I mean, they have a lot of damage. Like, that feels pretty well taken care of, but durability a bit lacking.
Yeah, definitely durability. And I guess the Dazzle's like, it's kind of on him to keep people alive with his heals engraved. Gyrocopter gets picked up. There's a kind of fighting tempo control carry that can handle its own against the Sand King lane. But yeah, for Navi, I think Ogre would have been great for them. It's one of Viva's most played heroes, but that's been last banned, and that would have given them that support that can amp up their push, and they can win the game before Ember becomes a problem. But with that banned out, they may just, I don't know, take some kind of go for the approach where you just get some additional lockdown and control, Earth Spirit kind of hero. I'm not sure exactly what else is kind of open to them. It's a tough spot to be in, and they go for the Nick. So they go for the extra lockdown. This actually puts Sand King most likely into the support role, but the Ember, like, if you can't end the game early, you're going to lose the game if you have no control for Ember. Like, he's just going to be able to split push. He's going to be able to go rampant in fights, and that's where the next pick comes into play.
All right, VP immediately smoking, TPing out solo to the mid lane. Looks like he'll be planting down a ward near the tower, and as for Armen on the Sand King, he will also be dropping an offlane ward of his own. So they're going to start him on that side of the map. Has the boots picked up early? Looks like we might see a bit of roaming from Armen in this laning stage. Or potentially a tri-lane.
Ooh, it could be fine. Yeah, with the Luna. I mean, that's one of the benefits of having Luna picked up as your carry is it does open you up to go for these aggressive tri-lane lanes, and Dazzle great for it as well. You've got the sustain for 3 heroes, and aggro tri-lanes with a shrine right next to your lane. Pretty fantastic as well. You win your lane, you spam your spells, you back up, shrine up, and go again. So, I mean, Gyrocopter traditionally was one of the better carries to have in tri-lane versus tri-lane scenarios, but his Rocket Barrage has been nerfed so much over time that until you get it like level 3, level 4, it's pretty lackluster in lane and doesn't really it doesn't really help you out enough against a tri-lane. So even if it's not a full-on aggro tri, I imagine RMN will start bottom and then roam towards mid once the lane's been won. There's a lot of potential for Navi to do well in the laning stage.
So I am kind of emerging from my casting hibernation gods. As Gyro, I haven't really gotten to watch too much Dota, or at least not as much as I would like the last couple months. Is Gyro a hero again?
As of the last 2 to 3 days, yes.
Because I was like, I don't think I've seen him at any of... I've seen some of the recent lands. I didn't see him in any Gyro picks.
He's become like a fighting carry that teams are going for. Like there's Faceless have run it 2 or 3 times in their games in SCA, and I think I've seen a few of the European teams also run the Gyro Cup. I don't think I've seen any NA Gyros, but he's clawing his way back in, but it's kind of like a last resort carry. It's like, well, there's no Luna, let's get a Gyrocopter, for example.
Gotcha.
Like it's always the last resort.
Yeah, it's like it's the poor man's team fight carry, so to speak.
Yeah.
I still remember the aggressive days when it was the go-to, but Navi definitely looking like they could bring that aggression as they continue to park Bycat bottom. It does appear to be a full-on tri-lane if I'm ever gonna creep block mid, but I imagine after that we'll be heading bottom right away.
Yeah, this could get a very early kill if VP aren't ready for it, and that lane ward really sets them up for success. Sanking can just hide in these trees. Is Slider in the bottom lane, so I think Lil recognizes this aggressive tri-lane threat. Otherwise, you wouldn't normally see a Slider start bottom for a tri-lane. So he's ready for what Navi are throwing. I mean, this is something Navi have also done more so than other teams. They're one of the few teams who are maybe consistently running these aggro tri-lanes with a hero like Luna.
Yeah, in the mid lane, no one going to be on his patented Ember Spirit. Definitely one of no one's strongest heroes. Dendi as the sniper. Early on, obviously, Sniper going to do well here. Do you feel like Dendi should easily dominate this lane, or how do you expect it to go?
Yeah, it'll be Sniper favored. I think it'll be like maybe slight 20 to 30% CS advantage going the Sniper's way. Early levels with the Shrapnel, you can kind of zone out the Ember, but once you run out of Shrapnel charges, it gets less one-sided. Bottom lane Iron Man taking a lot of damage. He was not expecting the Slider.
A bit too deep. Biver does have a point in Shadow Wave off to burrow down to the low ground. He's out of mana now and gonna have to pop back and hit that shrine.
Yeah, it looks like he wanted to mess with the pulls, but he gets punished heavily. And using that shrine this early on just for, I mean, you kind of have to, because otherwise Sanking, what's he going to do? Walk back to base, pop a shrine there, or heal up and come back to lane? It's a big waste of time. He needs to be in this lane from the get-go, but that's your shrine effectively wasted. So really good play by VP to punish him early on and force that shrine out.
Yeah, meanwhile, up top, General also has the 1v1 against Pasha. We'll quickly check out this lane. Obviously, the mana burn, pretty good to deal with the Darkseer Iron Shell spam, but once he gets the Soul Ring, will be tough to persistently keep him out of lane.
I've surprisingly seen Nixes do pretty well in this 1v1 matchup, like go even on CS. The big thing is to block the neutral camp, so Darkseer can't farm the lane and the neutrals, and he's blocked that big camp, so once that big camp's blocked, I think Nyx actually goes even on this lane from what I've seen. Even though like in my head I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure Darkseer should win. I don't think it's actually the case. Perhaps that'll change a bit with the song you mentioned. It does get a lot easier, and Pasha's got a shrine as well to help sustain him a bit. But yeah, that lane's probably going to be pretty low action unless someone dives for a kill.
Looks like a little roaming now as Lil off the bottom lane. They feel like they've gotten their gyro, an okay start. Ramsey's actually flacking the creep wave out a bit. Perhaps just trying to play it safe while his support's on the roam. They do have some kill potential here, and Dendi does not have boots picked up yet, but need to get that initial crush to start off, and he's gonna hoof it back to the tower. So for now,
bottom lane they win on Ramsey's, but
Lil just trying to harass.
Almost gets low, but yeah, both Ramsey's almost got brought down, but even without killing him, he's only got tangos, no salves, so he's kind of unable to go back and farm. He might linger around, pop a few more tangos, and try and stick it out. But Sanking similarly also got low, and that's going to force Iron Man back. So I think that's a better trade for Iron Man. Last time he just got low and got nothing out of it. This time at least he forces the gyro out of the lane a bit.
Pasha going man mode here on General, just all in with the dive. Does have the Soul Ring. General Mango available. I don't think it's quite enough for a kill with the stun, but can make him sad. They're actually going to TP someone else in. He is going to pop that Mango, goes in, gets the stun. Can Armin get in range? It could be the first blood. And he nails him, and that'll be the kill. Navi get on the board. It did cost them a rotation, but well worth it.
Yeah, well, definitely well worth it. And the Sand King was kind of backing out of the lane. I think he popped the shrine in the way back at base by the T3 tower, so gets a lot out of it. And mid lane, Dendi going for the solo kill. No one. Fairy Fire and Bottle Charges will keep him alive, so...
Dendi almost dying to the creeps there. Has to back away in the end. But doing a good job at forcing no one off the lane. Does pick up his boots now. Still only level 4, so not at that point where you can really threaten the sniper with a triple remnant jump in.
Yeah, and now both Dendi and No One have popped their shrines as similar-ish. Oh, well, I guess Ember used his a bit early, but just used it for Bottle Charges. But they've both gone through their shrines, so that kind of gets evened up in his mid lane. And with no Shrapnel Charges, this is where the lane will swing Ember's way. Like, he's actually winning on CS. The lane gets a lot easier now because the Shrapnel isn't really there, and Dendi has to play a bit more cautiously with a level 6 coming soon member as well. So this lane gets trickier at this stage for the sniper. He's scared of Slider rotations. He's scared of a lot of things that can very, very easily kill him.
Well, basically mirror movements here as Lil was heading back towards the mid lane. Looked like he wanted to potentially protect his Embers, try to set up a gank at Viver. Bottom lane was Lil, makes that rotation instead. Is going to find him with the crush, the follow-up rocket barrage there, securing the kill. VP do get back on the board. They force Pika to TP away. Still level 4 here, so a little while before he's the Eclipse and could potentially take a team fight. Armen though sees this juicy stack and would love to try and snag a few creeps.
Yeah, they've dewatered the lane as well. They got that just at the end of their sentry duration, so they deny some of that needed VP vision down here if they want to maintain this 3v3 lane. It's pretty hard to do so without that ward, and VP just trying to secure the stack you mentioned. Armen leeches a little bit of experience here and there, but that's going to be about it.
When you're a Sand Kid, even just that 1 point caustic, all those creeps are so low, your eyes get real wide, like saucers. You know, like just hit him a couple more times, I'll get the whole stack. But VP not having any of it.
Yep. Meanwhile, it looks like No One's going to head back to base after getting harassed a bit more. So he's level 6 now. There is possibility to rotate down bottom because that's where the action's happening.
Cat getting caught out a bit here, but he's got the support. Viver now the one taking the punishment from the helicopter. Ramses, though, not able to find the kill, and now Armen even chasing it deeper. Doesn't have to burrow for a few seconds. The sniper of Dendi arrives. The Remnant comes through, bouncing back to mid and then over again. Will find the kill. The assassinate insufficient. Dendi now has to back away, so No One equalizes the score. Does find the Sand King kill. Even the Radiant scan coming out just to confirm that nobody has stuck around or lurks in the trees. General, though, does now have the Vendetta and could be making his way out for a gank really soon.
Has the mana for the Arcane Boot too. It becomes very obvious quickly if Nyx leaves the top lane. It's obvious right now. He's left the lane, and he's going to be making that call from the get-go. Like, okay, Nyx is gone. You check the scoreboard, see he's level 6. You're telling your team there's a level 6 Nyx missing off the map, and Pasha will just push out this top lane with Iron Shell. And as soon as No One's defending top lane, you know that it's a dead giveaway. Nyx is ganking. The question is, where is he ganking? You can't play defensively, passively all over the map on your cores, so there will still be some temptation to farm out mid, to farm bottom, and that's where, for now, Ember's farming. He feels a bit safer, but Ramses, knowing that there's no teammates nearby, is going to be hugging the tree line at bottom.
Yeah, Ramses wants those creeps, but not going to happen. Spycat will see us in the lane. See No One comfortable in mid, and Lil patrolling in the area. Managed to hit level 4 here, as Armen is also getting a little catch-up. So both support initiators trying to find their experience as we start to move towards the mid-game.
Yeah. I mean, Armen gets a lane to himself as a Sand King. Slider doesn't really get a lane at any point. He's not going to be able to jungle, so we will see Sand King probably hit a faster blink timing between the two full position players. And Nyx is not like as farm dependent as a Darkseer, so they're probably happy for General just to start getting active on the map and giving the Sand King the blink before they give Nyx like a blink or a Midas, whatever Nyx wants to go for. They want to prioritize the guaranteed stun initiation over the less reliable one in the Nyx Impale.
That Sand King just getting absolute freeform top lane, and meanwhile 4 heroes for VP have rotated bottom. They went for the Disruptor TP as well. Stacking the jungle quite a bit, and looks like Pasha's going to take it over. So I wonder if we see a support grab this top lane soon.
It was like kind of a scared move to rotate the Darkseer off of the top lane, but it's kind of a combined thing where you're afraid of Nyx gank. If you stay top, you think you're going to get Nyx gank, and you're also afraid Nyx is ganking bottom.
And that's exactly what's happening. General strikes, and now The self-grave, Biver going for the TP out. Will he make it? The crush not quite there. It looks like he will escape successfully. Now Glimpsy back General. The other way, they will bring him down with the power of the Iron Shell. And now a 2-hero chains grab by no one looking for more, but he does get stunned under tower. Lil in pursuit. The Remnant forward, RMN still in danger. The crush barely clipping him, and the follow-up chains not quite enough. Dendi turning the tides here. Oh, don't think I'll have it with the assassin. Maybe on no one he could though. Pycat could chase for another Lucent Beam, but the bottle will bring no one to a safe HP level. He'll make it away. And Ramsey's heading back towards mid to secure the farm there. Still though, VP committing the entire team to all these fights gods, and it's like Navi's getting a little more off of the side lane.
A little more for now, and Pycat's still struggling a bit, like, it's more so for levels than farm. Like, I looked at that dive, I'm like, oh, is this really a good dive? Pycat can just eclipse him, like, oh, he's not quite level 6, so taking a good advantage of her timing before Luna hits level 6. Luna gonna get 6 now from a creep at bottom as no one comes back in.
Oh, dodging away from the burrow as he remnants on through. Biver with a perfectly timed self-grave though at the buzzer with 4 HP, and that's a second or two after I looked at the bar. So we'll end up finding the kill there. A sad Slardar. No one also TPing home, and they're gonna converge on top General. On the move, it's on to Ramses. Navi's starting to snowball this landing stage. As it ends, they break the lanes down. They find another kill. VP coming in with the Slardar, but I don't know if he's really going to be able to dive this. He'll try, but he goes right into the Carapace. Armen has the stun available, the vacuum committed, and they'll back away. So some good early movements from Navi.
Yeah, the beauty of this last pick Nyx is that it forces VP to 5-man a lot earlier than you'd like. And Navi are getting more out of the map in terms of resources. They just left, like they had the Sand King solo farming top lane, and you can't send a hero to farm up there like a Darkseer to push the lane out because he gets ganked by Nyx. Anytime Nyx is missing off the map, VP are kind of scared. They have to 5-man, they have to be worried about when and where Nyx is going to show up, and what we're seeing is that VP just force a 5-man issue because Nyx is missing. Now Nyx is showing up top, so perhaps they feel a bit safer that they can split farm, and they really need a split farm. Like, Lil needs a Blink Dagger on his Slardar, but anytime Nyx is missing from the map, he's probably not going to feel all too safe to do so. So I love how Navi have played the last like 3 to 4 minutes. As soon as General got his Arcane Boots, he just TP'd off the lane, went around Vendetta. He's back now farming a lane, but I think, again, soon, just give the Sand King the top lane and send Nyx around the map ganking is going to be a better, like, is how Navi have played it and has worked very well for them.
I mean, it really is the story of the game has been the fact, like you said, that there is a Nyx in the game at all. Like, whether or not the ganks succeed, it's forcing the Gyro to hide, then when he comes out, he gets caught and picked off, and it really does give Armen a lot more space to work with, and meanwhile Lil, only level 5 on the Slardar, falling quite a bit behind his counterpart, and VP starting to feel antsy, like they have to find a pick-off. They'll smoke as a pack of 3, head into the Dire Woods, maybe at least get some wards down here. Do they have any? Actually, no Obs wards.
Yeah, suggesting Navi know fully well Dendi was tucked away in the trees with the Dazzle there even, and then even heads towards bottom. I think he's expecting that rotation from the north. He just runs to the safe spot towards his shrine, takes the high ground, and TP coming in. It looks like they do want to try and defend this one.
Well, the Glyph committed here, VP. Still clumping up. They have a lot of team fight potential. That was the one big thing we talked about. No mech just yet, though, so Navi with a good initiation could bring down 2-3 heroes. And they're looking for the sideswipe. Armen coming in from the rear, just trying to patiently find that multiple hero burrow into an epi. He comes from the high ground. He only gets the burrow on Pasha, now tries to feint away, but so low as Ramsey's chipped off from distance. A safe kill. VP losing 2 there, and they're just gonna back off, calmly defend their tower.
Again, it's General's Nyx Assassin coming in. He got a 2-man Impale. They brought down Disruptor before he could use a spell. Without getting any Static Storm off in that fight, the fight's instantly going to go Navi's way. So really great defense. General just walking right in and invis. The sentry for VP, they tucked it away in the trees, probably hoping to not get it, like, go undetected. But the end result was they didn't actually see Nyx coming in. He was to the south of that sentry range, and that really completely screwed them over because both Gyro and Disruptor got impaled and they just instantly died.
You know, Navi has had some pretty crazy runs in these Valve qualifiers. I think the last like really crazy one that I remember was a TI. I want to say it was the TI5 qualifiers. They ended up not doing well at the event, but they had a miraculous run with like a crazy base defense. The Dendi Mag came out after barely making it into the playoffs. They're having quite a showing here, and as I say that, I jinxed the hell out of our man. He immediately gets glimpsed and picked off by a well-placed lane ward. So. Don't call it a win just yet, but it's been a good showing so far for Navi against the undefeated VP.
Yeah, and at this point they've had the better early game. They've won the early game, the laning stage with their movements, mostly thanks to General and his Nyx assassin. But I mean, I feel like every player's kind of done their role. Like we've had Dendi rotating bottom, playing safe, not getting caught out. We've had Iron Man Sand King taking over the top lane as needed. Some nice grave timings from Biva to keep himself alive. So they've had a very good early game, but VP's strength has generally been the mid game. That's where when they start 5-manning, when they kind of hit their stride with their levels and items, that's where a team like VP starts to shine, and that's where Navi perhaps felt a bit weaker. Like they don't necessarily have this. They've been a newer team. They don't have that same team coordination, and they're not always quite on the same page as a team like VP.
Yeah, you can see Pycat already queuing up the BKB, really suggesting that Navi want to be able to take those mid-game team fights into all the magic damage on the VP side. They grab the sniper Maelstrom for Dendi, and he's going to sweep in. General, under cover of Vendetta, cruising deep into the woods. He's going to find the initiation again on 2 to 3. Hero Carapace, Assassinate coming in, and the pain rains down. The burrow's there as well from Araman, and they clean them up. 4 VP heroes hit the deck. And again, gods, General, playing like a field general.
And this is like the Nyx game to watch. I think it sounds basic, but the key thing is just staying missing from the map. So many offlane players, like after they farm, I mean, Nyx isn't about farming a Blink Dagger, but it's the same concept. Like if you're playing a Blink initiating offlaner or a Nyx, once you have like your level and your core item, in this case it's just the Arcane Boots giving you the mana you need to use all your spells, stay missing from the map. It affects so much how your opponents play. If they don't know where you are on the map, they've got to play scared, they've got to hide, and that's where you can just go around, wait for someone to poke their nose out and instantly jump. And Navi find the perfect initiation at bottom. They had the ward behind the tower, they got all the intel they needed. No one's going to kind of try and look to even things up by just finding a trade up top for a tier 1 tower, but this is still Navi controlling the tempo of this game and having the dream early game.
And the thing is, like, VP's teamfight has gotten a lot stronger. They have the Veil now on no one, so the magic damage really amps up. Gyro, Ember, already just those two can pretty much wipe your team if they get the full combo off with the triple Remnant, the call down. And then on top of that, they have the mech on the Darkseer. So VP, certainly on paper, this is a strong teamfight lineup, but when General gets 3 hero Carapace stuns, multiple hero impales every team fight, and then the Sand King's able to follow up, well, you're not going to get that mech off. You're not going to find a good Veil combo with the call down.
Yeah. And the more I look at this now, the more I've seen these fights, I'm like, this is actually the Dream Nyx game. There's so many good Carapace spells. Like almost all of these heroes have stuff you can Carapace without actually like them meaning to proc your Carapace, from like the Rocket Barrage or the Flak of the Gyrocopter, the Ember with his Flame Guard, the Darkseer Iron Shell. All of these heroes have great Carapace setups.
They found the old man on a walk, and they will slaughter him. VP with the smoke gank will find the pick off on the sniper.
Dendi's pinging it like he knows there's a ward of some kind there. Or the only way he gets seen there is through a ward or like an invis hero or something. So they get the intel they need. That's both those pickups. We saw a similar one at the bottom lane on the Sand King have come from like a lane ward, and that's something where at least Navi get the intel and can de-ward it. Viva's already got the sentry coming out, and they'll quickly deal with this mid lane ward.
So looking at the overall like tempo and next round of objectives for each team, Gods, do you see a particular timing for either team? Is there a window here for Navi? Is there any rush basically, or can they just take their time and look to take this a bit later? To say that Glimpse bottom though, they are going to find the Nyx. General, I believe going for the TP out, yeah, we'll make it home.
Nice call from him. Iron Man just stood next to him and said, "Oh, you're fine, I'll leave you." The Sand King Blink probably looks to me like the big timing for them. They've gone back for a Midas on Nyx, so he's looking to secure some late game assurance as well as level progression. If he could have bought a Blink instead of this Midas, is there a similar price point? But having a Blink and being a bit under leveled, it's better you get a later Blink and have like all of your spells maxed out. You get all those extra juicy stats and talents and things as well. So, and you know the Sand King's Blink is coming at a good time. So we'll see Iron Man pick up a Blink, probably go for some smokes then. They are both rushing BKB on, it looks like, yeah, Sniper and Luna. So it is going to be like a Navi on perhaps a bit of a timing where they want to get a lot done around those BKB timings. You don't go first item BKB on like 2 carries if you're trying to drag the game out to the late game. So they're going to be trying to take objectives, take fights, secure Roshan around those BKBs.
And as for VP, definitely a good split pushing lineup here with the Ember, I suppose to some extent the Slardar having Iron Shell on him and the Darkseer. They can definitely shove the lanes out and back away. You have to be careful not to give up those kills though, because there's always the threat of that roaming Nyx that we've talked so much about.
The Ember's job is going to be very much, split push at this stage of the game. Split push out of lane, and then join up with the team for like a fight. But priority number one is split push, without getting caught, of course.
Maybe easier said than done, though. The game has slowed down, and much to VP's liking, I would say. Navi trying to change that. General on the hunt. He will find that Ember top. Can start things off with a Carapace. Already zippity-doo-dah, and away he goes, though. No one. He's grabbed the blink, so gotten even more mobile and elusive. He will back away, and he creates a lot of space as Ramsey just shoves in bottom, well on his way to a Yasha. This is much more the pace of the game that VP is hoping for.
Yeah, VP like these passive early games. Like when VP were at their peak, they would have these early games where there was like 2 or 3 kills in the first 15 minutes, and that suited them. That allowed them to get all the items, the levels, like their slot up blink timings, these kind of things which they played around, and then they suddenly 5 men down a tower, a lane, and start playing super aggressive. They were never a team that played aggressive in the laning stage. Outside of maybe Lil as an individual player was aggressive, the team as a whole was definitely not an aggressive one, and we'll see it now. This is kind of VP, they've hit most of their items. They are still short the Slatter's blink dagger, but while this pace does, I think, suit VP more, they've also got to be looking at Navi and seeing like, oh, both Luna and Sniper are rushing BKBs. Once they have those double BKBs, there's almost nothing we can do to fight them. So let's try and take advantage of this stage of the game by getting a few objectives, by getting a bit of map control before those BKBs come up.
Yeah, RMN prepping for that next round of aggression. Has smoked in, drops a deep observer ward, and now revving up the epicenter. Burrows on forward. He'll have a little help here from Ho Haha. Gets the kill, the insta TP out. Or no, sorry, that's a TP in from Pasha. And now gonna look to chase on the RMN. Vacuuming him back, might be able to catch him out. The call down comes through, burrows into the trees. He has the blink, but can it hold down to allow him to get away? And if so, will he find the right angle deeper into the trees? Pasha, no way to stop that. He'll make it home safe. So they force 3 heroes to rotate. He still gets out, and I think most importantly, they got that deep ward, and doesn't seem yet like VP know about it.
Yeah, and I guess they know where the Sand King came from for the initiation, so they'll expect a ward in this Bounty Rune secret shop area, but they're not going to know where specifically, so it may take them a few guesses to figure out the exact spot it's on. And great kill, killing a Slaughter before he's got blink. He was on about 2k gold, going to really slow down Lil, and he needs to be careful. He's come back to this mid lane, but there is a couple of scary Navi heroes who can very easily go on him, and this T1 tower is going down with the BKB on Luna in the front lines. There is no initiating onto Pycat at this point.
Yeah, and even if you do manage to catch him off guard, you've still got the Grave, the Dazzle Heal, so lots of good ways to turn these fights around. The Sniper of Dendy has to be a bit more careful, hangs farther back. Ramsey's shoving that lane back in. You see VP feeling quite constricted right now, gods. Like very much hugging that bottom quadrant, not really pushing out to the river.
I mean, they had the same idea that I did. Like, as soon as they saw, like, picked the Ember and saw the Sand King, they're like, oh yeah, it's the General Sand King. He's been playing Sand King all qualifiers long. Like, probably his most played hero in these qualifiers, and I think that was where the Nyx pick caught him by surprise. Because it's very easy to say at this point, like, man, why didn't they ban Nyx? They had Ember, Darkseer, Gyro, Disruptor. What are they doing? Not banning a Nyx Assassin last, but you kind of get in this mindset that you know what role the Sand King's going to be in. And Navi had played RMN on Sand King a few times before in the past, just not so much in these qualifiers.
No one, I think, trying to disjoint a potential projectile that was already inbound, but in any case, will barely survive. He was not expecting the Sand King burrow or that sniper damage. Almost gets picked off mid. But space
bottom lane where bottom lane where VP managed to get a kill using the Disruptor ultimate. So Vacuum, Static Storm, full combo into a Nyx Assassin. At this point, it's just a single kill, but it's worth doing. You're not looking to team fight right now. You're looking to just go late game more than anything. Good to a point where you've got more items on your Gyro, get the BKB on him. Ember's gonna just want to continue to farm as well. We're not even seeing Boots of Travel on No. I think he realizes there's just too many other items he's going to need to do enough damage in a fight that he doesn't want to make that stop off for the travels.
Navi still hanging back, waiting for that sniper BKB. Butterfly going to be next for Pycat, but it doesn't really feel like there's a big game-changing item beyond that BKB coming for Navi. Nyx Blake, okay, but I mean, he's already been doing a lot without it, so
yeah.
Not an item they're really waiting for to be able to take fights.
Yeah, for sure. The Butterfly is going to be when they can actually if they win one fight, you win high ground. That's like typical Luna game. Win a fight, take racks. Once you have the items to back it up, and that's what the Butterfly gives them. But for now, they're in the Roche pit with an Alpha Wolf, and this 5-man VP, well, 4-man VP smoke. around the bottom lane, goes very deep. They went really far into Navi's side of the map, but they're on the complete wrong side, and Navi have managed to avoid them, take Roshan. They see the gyro in this bottom lane, and that's kind of a telltale sign that there's heroes around him, either sitting behind him or even sitting in front of him, smoked up as they were, and Navi are using that knowledge of gyro's position to just secure themselves a pretty straightforward Rosh.
If you're VP, even if you know they're roshing, would you want to risk it into the Luna BKB though? Like they really don't have physical damage at this point.
Yeah. Perhaps if you had a decent ward down, you could fight.
Not the case though, as VP will chip away at this bottom tower, force some rotations from the Navi squad. They will end up backing away in the end though. Meanwhile, painting out RMN like they want to make a move on him. Solo could try and initiate here. Potentially go for that glimpse TP cancel, and the catch is there. No one will grab him out. Now the static storm committed as he gets glimpsed right back where he from whence came. Will end up falling. Good pick there on RMN. Gods, you with me?
Wait, Miss LD. Yeah, I'm back now.
I heard you like, doing that Australian internet thing and lagging out.
Yeah. No. So, yeah.
Just a quick pick on the Sand King top. Not a big deal.
Yeah. And that's nice. Like, your opponent's got Aegis, you want to find pickoffs to stop them from, like, 5-manning down a lane. It buys you time, but it's still Navi who have, overall, a strategic advantage, able to just wait that Sand King out. It's not like it's towards the end of the Aegis timer. They may wait for, like, they could potentially farm up this Butterfly for Luna and still have the Aegis and go for a high ground play, although I also don't feel like Navi's in a huge rush. They've got, as much as, like, you don't want to, like, you rush these BKBs, and you're thinking you're on a timer, they haven't used the BKBs. I think that's the big thing here. While they haven't farmed as fast as they otherwise would have, they're still holding on to 10-second BKBs, so Pycat may have a Butterfly by the time before this Aegis is gone.
General, that patience though, as he nails one. No one caught out top lane. Oh, the mana burn to start. He gets a little cheeky with him, lets him hit him with the chains. Then he carapaces and follows up with the stun right as the team arrived, and no one just not respecting him. Even manages to catch the Slardar blinking in for a follow-up stun and gets 2 kills. I mean, that is partially no respect from no one, though, to be fair.
Yeah, he's been kind of pushed to the limit where it's like you're versing a Nyx, but you're still going to push out these lanes, but it's so hard to play a game like this. You're behind, and you know that when you're behind, you want to be split pushing lanes, but you're trying to split push against a Nyx who has the best catch there is really against a split pushing Ember, so gets caught out there, doesn't respect what General can do, and General has been the playmaker this game. He's been so good on his Nyx Assassin, and he's setting Navi up to take game 1 of this best of 3, and a bit of a shocker as Pycat will take a tier 2, and he's got money for Butterfly now. This is going to be Butterfly Aegis to push high ground with at a very scary stage of the game.
Yeah, he was a lot closer to that B-Fly than I realized. In fact, we'll complete it now with the Alpha Wolf in tow, marching straight towards bottom, and it's just trying to tank up here, become that massive right-clicking beast. Will be a siege engine for sure, and the thing is, with the Aegis and the BKB, like, they might have to throw a couple big ults just to get through the Aegis once, not to mention the BKB and the second life gods. And of course, on top of that, there's a grave to worry about.
Yeah, they need to do is throwing an ultimate to get rid of an Aegis seems worthwhile, because once his tier 3 goes down, Rax is almost dead. Like, you're just going to see Luna's bouncing glaives just bounce all over the place, destroy heroes. There's no defending at that point, but this also may just be VP saying, let's give up the lane of Rax. Like, they're not assembled, they're not in position to defend this one. The tower's already down, now the bouncing glaives are going to kick in.
They try to chip a Pycat. He will back off his own illusion, perhaps VP's greatest tool to deal with him. He gets glimpsed back in, creates another illusion, then the crush. Good job working on him, then the fall vacuum with the call down. But Dendi BKBs, looks to run away. Ramsey's moving on to him, pretty quickly bringing him down. Dendi low, almost dead, trying for the TP out. Biver going for the save, not gonna happen. He may fall as well, and then Pycat back into the fray. Drops the Eclipse, does he have the damage? The Burrow, the Epi, a bit discombobulated from Navi. They haven't brought down anyone yet. Lil will fall. No one, though, still manning up. Will find the kill. It's 2 deaths for a Pycat. He'll end up falling. Now Arman burrowing out, trying to retreat. Go look for the Impale. They get one. Can they kill General? They will. Now no one without mana might not be able to walk away. Incoming Ramses, though. The chase continuing. VP. The Sleight of Fist is there. They find 5 heroes in the end. And on top of that, they defend the base.
That was just such a great bit of play there. They forced Navi to group up by going on the Luna there. That glimpse on the Luna, and then as she's retreating, Navi kind of converge around the Luna. Like, okay, the Dazzle wants to go in to get a heal off. The full stuff came, I think, from the Sand King. So they kind of had 3 or 4 heroes grouped up for that vacuum, and VP capitalized. What a perfect initiation coming out from Pasha on the Darkseer. Sets up a beautiful team fight. Gyrocopter just chased down Dendy. I'm watching Dendy just pop a BKB and then melt to the right clicks of a Gyrocopter. I was shocked to see how quickly he died there. And
well, I guess the
really
thing
was a
the thing is, you know, he just doesn't have that much physical damage at this point, gods. Like, he's gone Maelstrom, he's gone Dragonlance, just more of like a tanky magic damage build, and you know, hasn't even upgraded his boots yet. They don't have too much minus armor unless they hit an incredible weave. They also struggle to kill someone at BKB outside of Pycat, but Pycat melted. He jumped into 4 heroes and then didn't have a whole lot left in the tank.
Well, that will perhaps raise some concerns to the Navi camp, who, I mean, they took the tier 3 tower for free. I did not expect that VP to make such a strong hold after losing a tier 3 tower. Luna could have just stuck on the racks, perhaps could have just used a BKB to try secure racks. You don't normally want to use the BKB, just hit buildings outside of a team fight, but VP is the kind of scary team that may force that kind of a play. Regardless, that's VP holding the first lane against an Aegis push, and you will become a bit concerned if you're Navi. I think you go back to what's worked for you, though, which is going to be the pick-off into push, because that was the first time we saw them try brute force down the lane. Paper, I think against a lot of teams it would have worked. Like, you've got this Aegis Luna, you just picked up the Butterfly, you took a tier 3 tower, but VP is just such a good, well-coordinated team in a team fight.
Navi definitely a little bit more halting in their movements now, as the next Roshan could be about 1.5 minutes away. Manta under construction for Pycat. Dendy looks like wants to complete that Hurricane Pike. As for General, did go for the Blink before Staff. Generally, we see the Ags at this point.
Yeah, I imagine so after the 4 staff now. No pressing items for him to pick up, I don't think. And there's maybe some justification towards like a Yule Scepter type pickup, but the Ag seems... Like, Ag is a great high ground sieging item. You just pop yourself on the high ground, bar it up, so... I like what the Hurricane Pike... If Jenny has the Hurricane Pike there, he has that extra bit of mobility and he can get away from the gyro. So even though he doesn't do a lot of damage in his BKB, his physical damage is lackluster. I think survivability is kind of priority #1 still for him, because Luna, Sand King with the ultimate, Nyx with his spells, they have enough damage elsewhere, and they're not relying on the sniper to do right-click damage.
So Navi trying to take advantage of that tier 3 dropping top. They will be burning down the shrine in the Radiant Jungle, looking to somewhat limit their map control. VP though, I mean, Ramsey's with a BKB, no one being as elusive as he is, also has gone for his own BKB. Pretty early, I would say, for an Ember, but necessary this game. With the BKBs, I'm not sure how worried they are going to be about going outside the base. You need like perfect chain stun from Navi to bring them down.
Yeah, exactly. And they've got 2 in the Sand King and the Nyx, and I guess Nyx is 2 himself, but it's still going to be a tough call to have both those heroes in the right position to get those chain stuns off to bring down like an Ember type hero.
All right.
So
last time VP they caught Navi with their pants down, but Navi, they have put the belt and the suspenders on. They are not gonna they're not gonna let it happen again quite so easily as they trot away. Just trying to wait for this rush, it feels like.
Yep. It forces VP. VP were very, like, pushing, I mean, they pushed the tier 2 tower. It just forces VP back. Like, it's basically keeping VP honest. Like, guys, come defend your base. We're not actually going to push for racks, but we're going to make you TP home and at least take away some of that map position advantage that VP had by being in the enemy jungle. I think if you're Navi, you want to perhaps think about buying a gem, take out some of those wards in your jungle that you likely imagine were just planted. But for now, they need to make sure they can secure that Roche. And that's really the danger of giving VP that top side of the map, is that it sets VP up to get some wards down. They've got 1 ward around that Dire Shrine. That's going to help them perhaps contest this next Roche coming up, something that Navi want to be trying to grab for free.
Do you like this Manta pickup that Pycat's working on? I mean, you're up against an Ember with a Maelstrom. I mean, obviously Ember already does a lot of AoE damage. Gyro with the B-Fly now completed.
Weird odd Epicenter from RMN, not sure what that was about, but I think it's okay just for like, Manta has a lot of other extra, like you can dodge spells with it, temporary invulnerability.
Uh-oh. RMN, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. VP will slice them up, and now looking for more. They find that glimpse follow-up. Solo in deep Will he get punished? The patience from generally pump fakes on the stun. He gets 2 instead of 1, but doesn't matter. He gets forced back to the high ground. Ramses commits the BKB. It's going to be the death of the Disruptor in the end, and now they might look to chase the other direction, assassinate. But not a whole lot of follow-up. Sweeping in from the side is General under cover of Invis. Detection. Does VP have it? Nothing in the neighborhood. He blinks and he finds the 1 hero stun with the Carapace follow-up. The BKBs being down allows Pycat to confidently move in, but not able to really follow up and find the kill. Without the Sand King, they just don't have that much lockdown.
Yeah, the chase is a bit more limited. Nyx does have Blink and Force, but it's also less of a guaranteed catch. It's a longer cooldown as well, so they really want that Sand King Burrow Strike to allow them to chase as well. But they do feel safe enough to go into the Roshan pit. Disruptor's in the neighborhood and can scout this one out pretty quickly. Kinetic Field, yeah, he'll see Roche going on, and VP are swarming that direction.
If they can just stall a bit longer, they'll have the Static Storm. The Darkseer wall available. They go for the Glimpse back on Pycat. Try to bait out that BKB. It won't happen just yet. Navi trying to shove in the mid lane in the meanwhile and force VP to back away. VP, even though they're not that great at single target, they have amp damage, so I think with that, Gods, they could threaten the Roche pit here and steal this away from Navi.
There is Weave and the Solar Crest on Dazzle now, which helps negate it a little bit, but we saw last fight, yeah, you pop the BKB on Sniper, if you save, like, you amp someone up after the BKB, Gyro's just going to run at them. He's got the Sanjin he's got the Butterfly, he's got good right-click damage and high movement speed. He will chase you down, and the amp damage will turn him into a much scarier carry, so Gyro doesn't really care about your BKBs at this point if he's got the Slider there to help him out. And this Roche is a risky one for Navi to try and go for. They have denied some of the Radiant Vision around the pit, but they don't have vision of their own. Neither team able to see up to the high ground of the opposing team's Roche area.
Navi gonna back away for the moment. VP still hanging at the Ancients. Dropping the sentries. The eternal war over vision will rage.
Yeah, and there's slight edge for Navi, I think, based on the Helm of the Dominator Pycat. He's able to use that as a scouting tool, which realistically it makes a big difference. Actually, no, so there's one on Ramses too. So yeah, both teams have a Helm of the Dominator. These are very important just for scouting at this point of the game. You're playing blind, you've been dewarded, there's a Roche standoff, you've dewarded, and with the dewards happening, like, you need somewhere to get vision. It's a free scouting unit. Yeah, it gives away 125 gold if you can kill him, and it's definitely worth doing, but it forces the opposing team to reveal themselves on the map.
Roshan now being threatened by Ramses. He moves in, will break the spell block momentarily. We are going to see the F come out as General looks for the solo kill, whiffs on the stun. And meanwhile, the Roche drops dangerously low. Navi, no sight of a contest. The Wildkin rushes in, only for Big Bird to find that Roche is dead. The Aegis, that's VP's.
It's kind of a...
It was really...
Oh, they want to get kills, yeah.
Oh, they got the amp off on Armen. He burrows up to the high ground. He will manage to catch 2 with that, but he's chained at the same time as the rarely seen homie missile will come in. They will find that kill.
Yeah. It was I'm watching Solo like, okay, do you really want to be solo pushing a lane up top as a disruptor? But it was while his team took Roshan, so he was almost like just a bait. Like, the Nyx was actually up there dealing with the disruptor. I think the disruptor showing himself up top pushing a lane really threw Navi off because they completely vacated the Roche pit just because of a lone disruptor. It's such a solo play to make. He often goes off to make these like suicidal support lane pushes to create space for his team or get intel for his team. And that's exactly what he did. He didn't even die to the Nyx. If the sun lands, I think he still survives as well. So worst case scenario, Navi send 2 or 3 heroes his way, he dies, his team still get Roshan. So really good play from Solo to set that up, and the rest of the VP team take advantage of Navi's lack of control around that Roche pit area. Having no wards, having no vision, is making it very tough for Navi to play at this stage of the game.
And speaking of Solo and his off on his own aggression, it could pay off here in a big way, Gods. He's got the Aghanim Scepter now, went for the early plus 60 gold a minute talent, and has finally reaped the benefits of it. And with this Ags, if he just sneaks in from the side, finds the Luna, the Sniper, and drops the ultimate, they're not going to have too much recourse.
Yeah, that's the big thing here. You've got a guaranteed like blink stun initiation that you can use to set up a static storm, so you can't just plop Luna on the front lines and expect her to be able to get off the BKB. He does have the Grave, but if you get Graved and you're already low HP out because you didn't BKB, like when the Grave ends, you're still going to die.
Yeah, so. There's no Satanic here on Pycat. He's not life-stealing that back.
Exactly, and that's where I think you look. If he sees his axe, he's gonna be like, "Well, maybe I should consider like a satanic type item. Like my dazzle can save me temporarily, but I need a way to heal back up. So perhaps after the Hurricane Pike, maybe even before it, we'll have to wait and see. But that's going to become a high value item for the late game Luna in a game like this.
VP showing their resilience and their poise as a squad have pulled this game back from the brink at one point down about 7,500 gold. It really felt like Navi was in the driver's seat, but now a 10,000 gold swing later, they're in the lead and they're flexing their muscle. They put the gyro up in front, and they will try to initiate here. No one jumping in, connects with the chains on Diviver, just a threatening maneuver from no one, not going to commit. But they're starting to get the creep equilibrium going their way, guys.
Yeah, they're keeping these lanes pushed out. They've managed to find a good way of just to shut down and slow down General's ability to control this game with his Nyx. And Ramsey's on the front line, very safe, reliable, high ground, slow sieger, has managed to chip away at this tier 3 town. I think with Navi, full 5 men defending the lane, they decided it's not really worth risking a dangerous push here. Let's push out some of these side lanes first. Ember's already back in the top lane, almost completing an Octarine core. So they're going to try to hit that kind of late game timing with a level 25 Ember. Even the Gyrocopter's level 25 could be kind of nice as well with the extra flak attacks, or even the homing missile charges. But the flak attacks is what kind of probably strikes me as the optimal one for a carry gyro. And as it stands, Navi are going to be playing high ground defense too. They've got a lot of room for Sniper to grow in terms of his items. He's really got, I mean, he's going to upgrade his boots. He's got a TP and a Ring of Aquila to replace out, even the Maelstrom to upgrade. So there is kind of going to be like, there's a lot of benefit to Navi just to drag this game and stall it out, but it's like how much can they defend and stall it out against the Gyro and Ember who want to try and siege the high ground.
And that's the thing you mentioned, Sniper has a lot of room to grow, but is he going to find that farm? This guy has already fallen quite a bit behind his counterpart in the Ember, and that could certainly increase if he leaves the base. CVP, just better at split pushing, better at spreading the map, and really only the Nyx ganks is their main threat, but at this point they're just not enough to find solo kills on carries. I mean, it took some incredible individual play by General to pull it off earlier, and these carries have only gotten tankier and stronger since then.
Yeah, and that's, I think, Navi's biggest problem right now is that, yeah, General can Vendetta down a lane and initiate onto an Ember, or, like, an Ember's just split pushing the top lane, but how do you kill him? You're not solo kill. You need a teammate, and heroes like Luna, Sniper aren't ganking heroes. They're not like a Slack who can Shadow Blade around the map. Nyx is kind of alone on those ganking missions. Perhaps Sanking can join up with him, but even between Sanking and Nyx, they may not have enough damage to kill someone like an Ember, Epicenter included, because he's so tanky now with this Octarine core. He's got 2.2k HP. If you don't kill him instantly and the chain's done, he BKBs. The only way you kill like a split pushing Ember is if you bring the right clicking carries, and that's going to become, if Sniper or Luna's not defending the high ground or showing on the map, you kind of know something fishy's going on.
Yeah, if you see the old man just toddling down the lane, pretty likely to back away. Or rather, if you don't see him defending the base, as you mentioned. Not really the kind of carries that are meant to gank. Navi's carries are much more meant to team fight, to push, to siege, or to turtle, but not really to leave the base and make those aggressive plays.
Yeah, so they're going to be forced to play for, I mean, it's kind of like VP want to hit their late game timing with the level 25s, but Navi are going to go one step beyond that, even further into the late game, and just play high ground defending game, because, yeah, Sniper doesn't have the late game items, VP have the Aegis, the Roche control now, and VP also have the lane control, because they can, keep all these lanes pushed out. The downside VP is some of the heroes are kind of peaking it, and not necessarily going to get too much stronger. Ember's kind of hitting that 6-slotted point. Gyro's more or less there as well, has the Helm of the Dominator to upgrade, but they are not going to necessarily get too much stronger beyond this point. But I mean, the strength right now with like the synergy in the team fight where they've got the Vacuum, the Axe Disruptor, the Vacuum in a Crush, like there's a lot of great team fight potency for VP.
They do have a DD up on Ramses, at least for now. About halfway, a little bit more towards expiring. No one farming up the neutrals in his own right. Closing in on Mjolnir. So, VP with that dual threat of heavy physical damage from the Gyro, heavy magic damage from the Ember. Pretty much ensuring that Dazzle alone will not be like a full solution or counter to their lineup, even should it get to late game.
Yeah. Still unclear what Pykat's looking to go for his next item. Hasn't bought the Hurricane Pike. Could buy the Pike and have buyback, but the fact he's not suggests he's thinking like the Satanic type pickup or something else more late game oriented. Daedalus, Bloodthorn, these other big damage-dealing items could also come to mind. But I think he really is feeling like he needs a big late game item more so than he needs the Hurricane Pike at this point. If Navi want to win the game, like maybe the Hurricane Pike's like a nice stable item, helps keep you alive once. But if you want to win, you need something a bit more, with a bit more oomph.
What do you mean if you want to win the game? Like,
are
you implying something, Gods? I know 322
no
came from the CIS region, but seriously,
I came from one of the players in this game. Look, other team.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Are you saying Navi's been paid off?
You know, Solo has his ways, his connections. I don't know, some...
I don't know if anyone has more money than Zero Gravity, though. That guy's got a yacht.
That's true.
I've heard he's got a yacht.
So.
I'm pretty sure he can match anything that Solo's offering.
Can you match what Valve's offering, which is going to be some
actually,
$20 billion TIs?
Can he match what the oil billionaire's offering? Maybe not.
That's true.
So, well, Navi finally going to kill off this other shrine. Actually surprised they didn't do it earlier. As I say that, though, BP want to punish. They're going to make the move on General. They'll quickly bring him down. That's a gem hitting the deck. Oh, you thought you could just take our shrine? Fat chance of that, say VP. And the chase is now on. Looks like the rest will get away.
Yeah, barely. Yeah, that was a quick, like, abandoned ship call for Navi. Like, everyone's like, get the hell out. Every man for himself.
That feels like a...
Anyone help anyone out.
Doesn't that feel like a move that should have happened at, like, 30 minutes, not 45 when VP's kind of hemmed them in?
Yeah. If they'd taken that shrine earlier, that Roche... They should have had the advantage over that Roche fight. If they'd be able to take that shrine, get some wards down, I think that... there was a second Roche could have gone very differently for Navi. But just not having the vision, not having that shrine down made a big difference in...
Lil with the big grab here. The follow-up coming through from no one. Self-grave, try for the TP away. Viper, not going to happen. Will be caught, I think, by the glimpse there. Canceling the TP. On to falling Armen on the run. Pycat makes it back to high ground, but VP just hitting the kill switch all of a sudden and going deep into Navi territory. They suddenly have no fear, and you can see it from their gameplay.
Yeah, they've so much confidence now that they've kind of stabilized this game. All it took was that one high ground hold at top against the Aegis, and they've been able to push back, use the team fight that the Darkseer with the Slatter Crash or the Static Storm brings to the table, and they're now ready to start poking and prodding at this high ground. Gyrocopter's in, and what an initiation.
Oh, they will manage. Pycat will manage to limp away, but he gets glimpsed back into the Thunderdome and into trouble. VP make it 4 heroes picked off over the past minute or so as they look for Armen. They'll kill him again. Ramses with the frag. And now VP surging forward, picking up steam. They're going to mow down the mid lane. They could potentially rotate straight top. And that appears to be the call. The buyback comes out from Armen. This could be Navi's last stand in game number 1. Came in hot, came in strong, but not able to find that first lane of Rex. It was a great hold by VP, catching them off guard. God, I guess it must have been about 20 minutes ago where they drop the wall, they get the Luna illusion, and then the Blink Vacuum comes and hits on 4, not into the wall. Suddenly Navi lose the fight somehow. VP get a team wipe out of it, and Navi have just been on the back foot ever since. You can really see it very clearly in the graph, that final dip, the last time when Navi had control of the game.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. How crazy influential that Luna illusion was. They initially dropped the wall on the Luna, and then he glimpsed him back into the wall, so we got a second Luna illusion. And while VP have not looked back since that fight, they secure another Roche for themselves. Aegis and Cheese. Gyrocopter with the Aegis, he's the high ground siege machine, and Navi were trying to make a big move around towards this bottom side of the map to perhaps contest it, but that did not work out at all for them, and they've gone for Ags Luna. This is a bit of kind of like a Hail Mary play where you're just hoping that, that this catches VP by surprise.
Alright, man, this guy bought back earlier. He's not going to be able to rejoin the fight. He gets caught by the crush, finished off, and...
he's got respawn timer.
He's got the respawn timer down. Alright, it's tactical.
Yeah, tactical feeds.
But still not ideal, Gods. Obviously, Sand King here that doesn't need a huge amount of items, but heading late game, you would like him to be more durable just so he can get off multiple stuns in fights, but it's not feeling like that's going to happen.
You want him to have a BKB or a Lotus Orb so he can stay alive in the fights, not get stunned, or the Lotus Orb to get rid of the corrosive haze, which has been very problematic for them. So not able to progress at all in terms of items has definitely been one of his weaknesses at this stage of the game, but Here we go, the Luna Eclipse. What can it do with the Ag Scepter? Trying to probably get on the backlines, get heroes like Disruptor, Darkseer, Slather with the Eclipse.
It's alright, they've got the Lurker Nyx now. Surely this will be the answer to their problems as Pycat charging in, looks to engage. He does drop that massive Eclipse. He gets Grave pretty early in the fight. He's brought one down, almost two. The Ember looking to come back in, but now he's isolated. Ramsey's on the chase. Can Pycat make it away? He is pretty fast. Also low. Ramsey's, though, with the Aegis, wants to chase, and no one there. Cleaning up that Luna, looking for a bit more as he'll isolate Dendy. The Crush comes in. The Carapace, the stun from the Nyx, not quite enough. Dendy pushing himself away, back towards safety, but no one decapitates him, takes him down. The Nyx limps back to the well in general. Well, this man is strong. He's been doing some heavy lifting, but unfortunately, his troops not rallying to the cry, and looks like VP going to take game one. Now the epicenter. Too little.
I mean, Navi played an incredible early game. I think that's part of the story here for me, is that Navi have definitely shown up in the playoffs. They had a very lackluster group stages. They scraped their way into the playoffs, but here they are versing the undefeated Virtus Pro, and they were in a position to win this game. They were in a position where the game was favored for them to win the game with that Aegis, Butterfly, Luna. They just met a VP team whose teamfight coordination and execution is just a step above theirs, and they perhaps rush things a bit. I think maybe some overconfidence as well. Either way, I think the big takeaway for Navi is, like, we're competitive. We can beat VP if we just polish things up a bit, but for VP, it's... I mean, they got shaken a bit by Navi, but I think the end result is what VP are looking for. Like, all right, they got the game one win. They're still playing that good, consistent Dota, and they're still getting the wins.
All right, guys, with that game one in the books, VP continue their undefeated run here in the CIS qualifier. Will anyone take a game off of them, guys? That is still an open question.
CIS has always been probably most comparable to the SCA region. Very volatile, unpredictable. You never really know what you're going to get. VP's kind of broken that trend and said, hey, look, we can create a consistent CIS team. But I don't know. The rest of these CIS teams are still as unpredictable and volatile as ever, which means there's huge upset potential if these teams play their A game.
All right, guys, with that game one in the books, I'm LD. He's Gods. You are watching the Kiev Major Qualifiers. We've also got European action happening on, I think it's Beyond the Summit 3. As well as SEA action wrapping up on Beyond the Summit 2. So be sure to check all of the streams out, guys. Lots of Dota over the next 36 hours or so. With that, we'll be back for Game 2 in a jiffy.
E-Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan.